I know you guys were not expecting this. I wasn't expecting this either. It kind of felt like something I needed to do because I had an amazing time at Comic Con and I felt like I did not get to do what I've done in the past, which was these really fun broadcasts where I would go over all the stuff that I've seen, all the people I've spoken to, all the things that I've done. And that's on me. I admit that. That's on me. I'm gonna swap this right now. You guys are looking at me. You're getting to see this handsome face, but I'm gonna swap this so that you can see more of the art that I got. I'm really excited to show you guys all these pieces that I got, specifically because I just had an amazing time. Montreal Comic Con was a lot of fun this year. 62,000 people attended. It's their highest attendance, and I gotta say, after a 2-year hiatus, it's kind of great to come back to it and have such an amazing time. I know a lot of people were excited about coming back to Comic Con. A lot of people wanted to be there. A lot of people were just dying to get back out. And everyone I spoke to was very, very excited about being at Comic Con again. I mean, I didn't talk to a single person who said, "Man, this was okay." Everyone had the vibe of like, it is great to be back. It feels like we're getting to be back together in a community. And I think one of the things that really brought everyone back together was just the sense that we love this. We're geeks, we're nerds, we're people in a community that love working together, that love seeing each other. I know I used to go to Fan Expo in Toronto, and every year you'd start to see the same people at the conventions. Like I'd always see this group from Detroit, I'd always see this group from Windsor. There's like different areas that people came from, and I would see them every single year when I was at Fan Expo. And I'm starting to notice that, and I'm not talking about exhibitors or anything like that. I'm talking about just fans, like people who are coming in from out of town. And I started noticing that at Comic Con a couple years ago, that I was starting to see some of the same faces. Obviously, there's new faces since it's 2,000 plus people jump from previous iterations of the event. But it was also really cool to just see some of the same faces that you hadn't seen in a couple years. Um, and I'm a nerd, and I bought a lot of art, so I'm going to talk about that. I'm wondering if I should start with some of the other things that I bought first, though, because maybe that would be easier for me to show first before I get to this. Because if you guys are seeing, I have my split screen here so that you guys can see this awesomeness. Hold on, let me see if I can. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip it for a second so you guys can see it. But this lovely book here, this is my desk that you guys almost never see when I'm doing the podcast. But this lovely portfolio, shout outs to the homie Gobo. I guess Gobo would be the first person that ever had the portfolio and would bring it around at conventions when I used to go to cons with him. But Gobo used to bring around a portfolio and would get all of their prints. And then I was just like, man, that's a good idea. And then this year was the first year that I was like, you know what? Let me try and do that. Let me try and get a portfolio and start bringing prints and saving them. So I'm really excited for that. But before I start off, like I mentioned in the past, the dreaded hunt. You're always, if you're a nerd and you go to a con, you have the hunt. You hunt for a specific figure. This year, and you know what? I should look it up. This year, the figure that I was looking for, and it was painful because no one had it. There's one dude who said, "Oh, I had 10 of them." I don't believe him. No offense to him. Seems like a nice guy, but obviously it's easy to say I had 10 of them when someone shows up asking you, "Oh, do you have this in stock?" So I'm probably going to end up buying it online from someone else randomly, uh, from like, another store or something. I really did want to buy it from someone at the convention. One of the things that we've been saying is we really do like to support everyone that's coming out to the con. And it's hard when, it's hard for people to get back into it, right? And I know that. So that's one of the reasons that I want to support people at the con. One of the things that happened, for example, before I show you guys the picture, actually, I'll show you guys the picture right off the bat, and then I'll explain this story. So this is the character that I really, really wanted. I was looking for it like crazy. I could not find it anywhere. King Grayskull from Masters of the Universe, a beautiful piece. I'm gonna add it in so you guys can see it. There you go. So King Grayskull is this really beautiful action figure I could not find anywhere. And everyone kept saying, "Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it." And then finally one guy at the end of the convention told me he had 10 of them. And once again, like I said, not no offense to him, I really feel like that was more of a, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I got it. Here's my card. Make sure you contact me and I'm going to go to the States in a couple weeks and I'll have more. So contact me in July, end of July, and I'll for sure have it." And I was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, thanks, but yeah, sure." Because I get it. Once again, Comic Con's one of those things where everyone gets together and everyone's trying to work, and there's some vendors that might have more of a less of a community vibe, and they're just there to sell. And I think if anything, that's perfectly fine. You've spent a lot of money on this table. You're at this major convention. There are thousands and thousands of people walking around. I understand you're trying to recoup. You're trying to make your money. So, but it just feels, felt a little weird when the guy was being a salesman with me more than just kind of talking with me. Because a lot of other boots were speaking with me and not at me or to me. And that's something that I really, I feel that energy when someone speaks with me as opposed to at me. Speaking of people I want to support, first off, I want to show this business card. I don't know if you guys can see it or read it. I feel like it's just gonna show that business card to you guys right there. The reason I wanted to show that business card, Ryan Durning, Hall of Names from Toronto, historical swords, scrolls, and dagger specialist. Hit him up on Facebook. The reason I'm talking about him is I went to the mypops.ca booth at Comic Con. I've been looking for a specific blade, not a real blade, it's a display piece. I've been looking for it for over about 10 years, maybe a little more than 10 years. I really, really like this specific blade. It was a crescent moon dual blade piece where the blades interlock. So it's a crescent moon like this, and you put it on a little stand, and you could take it up and you could pull it apart, and the two blades were curved blades, and they would come out. And it was beautiful. And I didn't buy it at the time because I was with a friend and we were with the friend's family. Their family was visiting from out of town, and the friend was concerned that if I bought this in front of their parents, that their parents would be concerned about them hanging out with me. It was a display piece. It wouldn't have been a weapon. I thought it was kind of weird, but being a friend that I am, I was just like, sure. Didn't buy it. Went back later that day. Not there. Gone. The table, everything. I was in Chinatown. The table that was selling it, gone. Never saw it again. Heartbroken. Heartbroken. And I've been looking for that for about 10 years. Every con I've gone to, I've shown people like an idea of what it looked like, and I was always hoping I could find it. I never found it again. It always breaks my heart. It's really sad because I really genuinely love that piece. I thought it was really nice. So this year I had a proper picture. I found something that was almost identical to it. Went up to the booth at mypops.ca, and I'm not saying the people at this booth are bad, but the one guy dealing with the swords was the biggest hole I've ever met. Because Comic Con's crowded. I get it. You're doing a lot of business. I understand that. I specifically waited until no one else was talking to the dude. No one else was asking questions. He's standing there. He's saying, anyone needs help? Anyone needs help? No one's talking to him. I waited a full 30 seconds of him saying, anyone needs help? Watching. People were backing away because, sometimes us nerds are a little shy. So if someone's being a really aggressive salesperson trying to get you to look at their stuff, you might see some people back away. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to be a jerk about it. I'm not going to step in. I'm not going to try and take over the space. Stupid me goes up to the guy and I show him the picture. I'm just like, hey, man, I'm looking. No, we don't have that. Oh, okay. That's old, man. And then just turns away from me and keeps going. It's like, buddy, I know that if you recognize it immediately, you can at least guide me. At least guide me. Help me a little bit. Show me a little respect. We've been waiting a couple years. We haven't had Comic-Con. We're finally back together. We're all really excited. It's the time for us to work together as a community. Your immediate reaction, complete turn off. And it just was so depressing to interact with someone like that. But then I went over to the Hall of Names Toronto's booth, also had weapons. He himself did not have the specific item in question, sent me to other people, said that they might be able to find it. Lo and behold, I got a lead, and now I'm going to be looking for this specific piece. Will I find it? Who knows? Probably not. I've been told by many people that it's going to be very hard to find. It's a lot older. But it was just the idea that someone took the time, once again, part of the community, like Vin Diesel would say, La Familia. We're all nerds. We're all geeks. We're all there together. It's been a couple years. We've missed each other. And now we're finally back together. Have a little courtesy and treat me with a little respect, because obviously I'm just trying to be a nerd. And I came to your booth and I asked you a simple question. And all you had to do was take 2 seconds of your time to talk to me with some respect. And because you didn't, I'm on here blasting you now. So once again, I'm not saying that they were the problem, but that one person at your booth. If you guys ever watch this, if you decide to Google Montreal Comiccon recap 2022, and I come up and you're watching this and you know that you were at the mypops.ca booth and you're the boss, whoever was manning your weapons does not care. He doesn't have that bedside manner that a doctor would have to help you get along. He doesn't have that courtesy. He doesn't have that salesman. Even his salesman style. I got to tell you, you guys might have lost some sales because the people around there were not feeling his vibe. Like I said, I stood there for a while watching, waiting for an opportunity to step in before I spoke to him, specifically because I was just like, well, I'll give other people a chance to talk to this guy, because what I want to ask is something very specific. It might take a minute or two to ask, so I'll wait. And the energy was bad, which is sad. But once again, I want to say shout outs to Hall of Names. You guys would almost think I'm being sponsored by them, how many times I've mentioned it already. But I'm not. I just genuinely respected the guy and really appreciated the guidance that he gave me, because it's slowly but surely helping me get to where I want to be. Anyways, now on to the other pieces. So this is the Andra figure that I got, as opposed to the King Grayskull, who I still desperately would like to get. But Andra figure that I got, I unfortunately did not get the name of the booth. Beautiful figure, well done. I'm really excited to display this one. It's going to be right over here with the greens. You guys will see it in the background when I'm doing the podcast on Wednesdays. Don't forget Geektastiq Cypher Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this Andra figure, I love it. I love the detail. The character in the She-Ra cartoon on sure. I'm saying She-Ra. Apologies. I'm thinking of the stickers and some of the pieces that I have in the book. This was from He-Man, and Andra is Teela's partner in crime. Believes in science, and you know, me as a nerd who likes the science, who likes the music, and who loves the energy, love this character. Sorry, I had a little hair on it already. But yeah, look at this. Look at the detail. Look, I'm gonna let you guys see that detail. Look at that. Beautiful figure. I was really happy to get that one. So that's right there. Minifigs. One of the things I really love about Comic-Con is it's one of those places where you can get some really nice minifigs. And in true fashion, like I do often, I got a really nice minifig. I got the Deadpool with the card. It's a beautiful one. Comes in the glass case. And speaking of our buddies over on the He-Man side, I got, when I asked somebody about the King Grayskull, they didn't have it, but they had a Skeletor minifig, and I did not like the He-Man one, but I love the Skeletor, so I went and got that. I'm going to put that here. Maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. But it was really exciting to see a minifig. Now, I know there are minifigs for this, but it's just this one looks so much nicer. I really loved it. So I picked one up. Look at that. I also got from, and you guys know, if you go to Comic-Con in Montreal, there's that stand that has all the minifigs. And obviously, these are not official minifigs. These are fan-made minifigs or custom design ones. One of my favorite characters in Marvel is Sentry. If you guys know Sentry, he's a super powerful character. He's essentially one of the Supermans of the Marvel universe. Maybe I'll show him on this camera. He's so blonde and white. He like blurs out with the lighting. I'll try and get a better picture for you guys another time. But the last one I got that I was really excited about, our boy Yondu. They had a really nice Yondu figure that I loved. The detail on the Yondu was great. He has the head fin, all that stuff. It's beautiful. I was so excited for it. Minifig collection growing. I have a whole bunch of minifigs over here that I once I explain what I did here with this art, I'm gonna go into what I'm planning to do in at my home with all the different pieces we've bought, and the minifigs will be on display. So anyone who knows me personally, you'll get to see them when you come to the house, and maybe one day I'll do a house tour with all the pieces that we have hung up because I'm pretty excited. They look pretty good. Um, Next up, guys, we're going to be going into the art. We're going into the art. I bought so many prints. I bought a lot of prints, guys. I spent a lot of money on prints, folks. I'm not going to lie. So first off, we're going to start with the stickers, and I'm going to list, if you guys are watching this, I put in the description the link to every single artist that I'm about to talk about. So you're gonna see some really nice pieces, and then you guys can go and click on their Instagrams and follow them, and they have their links in their bios for detailed information and stuff like that. So you guys can check them out, hit them up for commissions. One of the artists that I spoke to this weekend, I did an interview. The interviews are going to be chopped up and released a little bit later. But when I did the interview, one of the artists said, I'm a little busy right now, but no matter what, hit me up for commissions, because if I'm available, I'm available. It doesn't hurt to try. And I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So first, starting off with the stickers we have here. These stickers are by Valum Art, Pastel Noir, Tall and Quirky, and Volcantron. So if I'm gonna try and do my best to see that I remember everyone. So these stickers, the Superstore stickers, are by Valen. Oh, and as well as this Riva from Star Wars. Then these little stickers here are Pastel Noir. These three. This one is by Tall and Quirky, Steven Universe, Garnet. And then this last one here is by the homie Volkertron. Shout out to him. En français, parce qu'il est en train de pratiquer. He's learning French here. He's originally from the States, and we had a fun conversation where he's talking about taking his French classes and how much he's enjoying that. Once again, getting this portfolio was a lot of fun. It gives me an opportunity to get a whole lot of stickers. And with those stickers, I have the option to start putting them all over, on the inside, on the outside. So there's going to be a lot of stickers on this thing, which I'm very excited for. We'll see how many years it takes to cover it completely. I'll do my best to never cover one over the other, but you never know. Sometimes, after a couple years, and I already damaged this one, so I probably should put a sticker over the edge here. We'll see. Starting us off on the inside, folks, I want to give a shout out to before I do that, hold on. I'm gonna go back to sharing my other screen so that I can show you guys the artist. So the first artist I had mentioned, Pastel Noir, is one of the artists. Their stuff, check out their Instagram. It's scrolling at the bottom there. Pastel Noir did these cute little stickers here. I don't know what the style is called, but I do know that they look amazing on this portfolio that I bought. So I would highly recommend y'all check them out. Then we have Van Lems.art. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but no matter what, still great pieces. Look at this. This is the Riva one I was talking about. We have Eddie. We have Sadie, aka Max from Stranger Things. Some really nice pieces. It was really nice to meet them at the convention. They also, shout outs. I want to give a shout out to their booth partner, Marvel _Inc. Jonathan Levesque. He was a cool dude, real chill. Has some beautiful pieces that people should definitely check out. I actually didn't write his, but I'll try and add it to the description a little bit later. All right, but now, also, actually, you know what? I'm going to save the last one, but I'll go over to our buddy Volcatron. Volcatron did this one at the bottom here, the Pokédex. And great guy. I love his pieces. They were cute. Some good stuff. If you guys want to check him out, once again, that is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You guys can go check that out. All right, so let's start. Let's start this off. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna add myself back to the screen real quick. See if I can add myself back to the screen. Actually, let's put me back in the back in the mix. Um, folks, see more. And I know I made that joke last time that I did this because I bought other pieces from him in the past, and uh, I really genuinely do love his art. He is a very, very talented artist who, one of the things that I think is so cool when him and I were talking, he explained to me that he is self taught and that in doing it, he, you know, actually, you know what? I won't say too much because him and I actually did an interview. We did a really good interview. I had hoped to get that interview up in time for Sunday. I did not have the chance to do that, and it breaks my heart a little bit because it was a really good interview. But one of the things I would say is you guys can still reach out to him and try and get commissions. That's one of the things that I'm really excited about with this whole thing is I'm hoping that people will see this stuff and will be like, "Oh, I want a piece like that." So you guys can hit them up on their social media and either buy one of their prints because I'm sure they're going to have their prints available. If not, just hit them up on their socials and see if you can get your own commission. This Super Mario that Moore did, this was a 2022. This is a new piece. He autographed it for me. I love it. I love the colors. The style is so nice. And then guys, look at this Black Panther that he did. Look at the Black Panther. Look at the detail on that. I love it. When I saw it, I that this was the piece that actually stopped me. I was gonna see more anyways, no matter what. I love his stuff. I've loved let me, I'm just gonna go to it. But ever since him and I met the year he did the I'm already skipping ahead so far ahead. So I want to show you guys so much great stuff, but oh, I'm messing up my order. Ever since I got these two pieces from him a couple years ago, the Groot and the Miles Morales from I think 2019, I've loved his stuff. His art style is so great. I remember, I know Patrick O'Keefe who worked on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I showed this piece to Patrick, and I told him how I was just like, dude, this guy did a really good version of Miles, and I'm pretty sure I tagged him and sent it to him. If I didn't, I'll try and do it again. But he definitely needs to see this piece because I feel like when you work on something, especially in a film, a lot of the fan art, you must appreciate it because these people just love the art that you're creating. And sometimes there's just someone out there who does one that is almost on par with what you're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, Patrick's stuff is the OG. I mean, he didn't do the original design, but Patrick added elements to Miles Morales and Into the Spider-Verse that no one else can touch. But I think what we're seeing with Seymour Designs is something unique and a really beautiful take on that. So shout outs to him. Once again, this Black Panther stopped me dead in my tracks when I saw it. I was already going to look for Seymour Designs. But it was already when I saw this, I was just like, God damn. So once again, I highly recommend if you guys type in CMD on Instagram, you'll find them, or just use I have the artist names right below. So go check them out. This next one, oh my God. Our girl, Tall and Quirky, is such a talent. And she's so talented. Like this Shigo that she did here, I just could not leave without taking it. It was one of those things where, as I was looking at it, I was like, this brings me back to my child. Well, I mean, I was a little bit older, if I'm being honest. It's not really my childhood as much as I just thought Kim Possible was a fun show. When you're a kid or even in your teens, it was just one of those shows that even if it was made for kids, it still had fun to it. It still was interesting. And what she did with the Shigo, Like, I don't know who it's based off. That's the other thing. Like, her stuff is just so beautiful, and you're just like, does she just know gorgeous people, or is it just that she has a really good eye and could design something so sweet? And I just love that piece. I mean, look at it. It is stunning. I'm going to try and push it into the center there. So I would highly recommend, if you guys are looking to follow someone, she's another example of someone I would say to check out and to follow. Tall and quirky. She has great pieces. She's really fun. Look at some of these pieces on her IG. Look at this stuff, guys. I mean, just look at the details in all these pieces. Just black girl magic everywhere. Every single piece is stunning. There's no question that she is skilled. The other print that I wanted to get, this one here. I'm gonna click on it real quick. But look at this specific piece. Uh, like, I don't even know what to say. The kind of glitchy style look, everything just looking popping really nicely. The colors. She's talented, folks. That's just what it is. There's not much I can add to it. You're seeing it right here. That's the crazy part. This is why you got to come to Comic-Con in the future. Look at the stuff that these people are putting out. And the thing I love the most about this is we are seeing, like, some of these people are working on projects that are going to be like video games that you're going to be playing in the next little while, and movies that you're going to see. They're doing stuff. They're working on this stuff. They're in the industry. Like, some of them are starting out, and some of them are on their way, and some of them just like to do the art, and they don't necessarily want to blow up even bigger. They're just like, I appreciate making art, and that's just what it is. But it's like, if you're going to go to Comic-Con, this is your chance to get some of these prints for like a fraction of the price that they're going to be once these people pop off and you can't get anywhere near them. You know what I mean? Like, I remember going to Fan Expo and meeting Alex Maleev years and years ago, and now, after he did Daredevil and everything blew up, and everyone was obsessed with his stuff, and his prices obviously had to adjust for that. And that was one of those things that I was just like, man, I wish I'd gotten a print last year. And that's the thing. It's like, buy the print now. So that's why I did. um and then this Knuckles that she did is also stunning. Look at this Knuckles. Look at the detail again. I like the way the hair, the lights, like all the light work that's being done here. These posters that you're seeing, and I want to give a big thank you to the awesome panelists from Evolving Women's Roles in Star Trek with Women at Warp. They had a panel. It was all about the women in Star Trek. It was a great panel. It was a great conversation. I had so much fun. They offered the posters for anyone who asked questions. Or first, if you asked a question, you got to get a poster right away. You could still get them after, but there was a good chance you might not get them because, as you can see, these posters are beautiful. This was a Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and then we had the Discovery one. I was worried I wasn't going to get one. I also did have a genuine question. If you guys are Star Trek fans, Star Trek The Next Generation, we talked about Tasha Yar and how La'an on Strange New Worlds is La'an from the character branch of Tasha Yar. And what that means is, and I'll focus on myself for a second here as I say that, and I'll take our buddy, our awesome friend Seymour off the screen for a second. When you talk about characters on TV shows and you talk about characters in movies, sometimes in a show that has a ever expanding universe, you start to notice a pattern in some of the characters and some of the characterizations, because you're trying to keep something similar to the original series that the fans will like, but you're also trying to evolve on it. So in Star Trek, the original series, you have Spock. In Star Trek, The Next Generation, you have Data. In Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, you have Odo. In Star Trek Voyager, you have Tuvok. In Star Trek Enterprise, you have T'Pol. In Star Trek, I guess what would be the next? Discovery, Michael Burnham themselves would be the character who's kind of doing the whole I have no emotions thing. And then you have a few other characters who are kind of leaning into that. Then you finally get Spock again and all that jazz. When it comes to the hard-hitting fighting women type character or the trope where, and one of the things that the evolving women's roles in Star Trek panel discussed was the idea that Tasha Yar might have been a, not overcorrection. I think they used the words overcorrection, but kind of the idea that Tasha Yar was not trying to be a nurturing woman the way that Crusher, Doctor Crusher, and Deanna Troy were trying to be. You know, Tasha Yar was head of security, really aggressive, and like, you know, you didn't want to mess with her. And then La'an, that character on Strange New Worlds, feels like a similar evolution of that character. So that was one of the questions that I asked. You know, do you think that that character is on the same branch? You know, the same way I just explained with the logic branch in Star Trek. Do you think that that character, the Tasha Yar branch that they were creating, does that person La'an fit on there? And they like that question. It was a great answer, and unfortunately, I can't repeat the answer. But you guys should definitely go check them out at Women at Warp, and check out all their content, because similar to how I got a great answer, you'll get a great answer if you listen to the podcast, because they have wonderful things to say. Moving on to other artists that we saw and other art that we bought. This piece here, Jillian Newland, beautiful stuff. Another one that the detail in what they were doing. Oh, actually, real quick before I forget, because I did bring this up, and I did want you to see it. Once again, I did say the panel evolving women's roles in Star Trek. It was a great panel. Like I said, I would highly recommend that people go listen to Women at Warp. I'm definitely going to be listening to their podcast from now on. It was such a wonderful panel, and I did genuinely enjoy the conversation. Unfortunately, because I was at this panel, I missed the opportunity to get stuff signed by Wilson Cruz from Discovery, Dr. Culber. I'm okay with that. I was just a little sad because I definitely did want that autograph. But at the same time, I'm such a big Star Trek fan that no matter what, if I missed seeing him for something else Star Trek related, it was fine for me. So back to what I was saying. Jillian Newland, beautiful art, fantastic pieces. I am in love with this one. This Hogwarts. This one's not even for me. This is for my partner, but god damn, look at that. Then we have Horizon Zero Dawn. We have our lead character. We have Zelda piece. I mean, these pieces, once again, one of the things that I think is so cool, I spoke to Jillian about her art style, and one of the things for this piece specifically that she explained to me is this piece is multi-layered. The background here with the trees and the sun, this this beast. I'm sorry, I've never played Horizon Zero Dawn. My partner does. I will have to ask them to tell me the name of that beast. But this beast and the lead character are three different pieces that were layered. And then these digital pieces, so those were all hand drawn, different types of like, you know, penciling. This one was watercolors. This one was so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into the details because I'm not the artist. I would say I once again highly recommend just following the artist on their social medias and then seeing what the artist has to say, or even you're asking them yourself. But all I know is they scan all the pieces in separately, layer it, and then added these this water kind of brush stroke thing here was done before, was also scanned in, but then these like lights and digital pieces, the little perfect triangles and stuff was all added in digitally, which I think is so cool. And once again, this is another one of those people that I highly recommend people follow on their socials, because the pieces people, I'm telling you, I am not an artist, I am just a fan, but these pieces are beautiful, and you should take the opportunity now, because when you're walking around the convention hall, you start to realize that these people are going to get poached and picked up, and they're going to end up doing some crazy good dope shit. And then next thing you know, it'll be too damn hard to get their pieces, or too expensive. Not too hard, but they're going to start selling out. I'm going to rush this along because I realize I bought so much that it would be an hour long if I just kept going over everyone one by one and gushing about how talented they are. But I think it's fair to say you've gotten the gist of what I'm trying to tell you. I had an amazing time at Comic Con and I bought a lot of wonderful pieces. So this one here, I'm going to go over to our next artist, Christopher underscore AR dot T art. He did this Dr. Manhattan. Wonderful piece. I definitely highly recommend guys checking out this. Unfortunately, this piece only available in this size, something that broke my heart because I really wanted a large version. But he said that the original that he drew was very small and that this was as big as he could blow it up without it getting distorted, which I understand. I mean, it makes sense. I'm hoping that he will take the opportunity to try and make a bigger one at some point. After that piece, we have Collab 3G17. These 5 Sailor Moon pieces, plus this wonderful Max from Stranger Things. Love the piece. I think it's beautiful. One of the things that I did say to the artist, though, is, and it was very funny, I was just like, did you draw Zendaya as Max? Because I saw the original, I saw the piece, and I was just like, this looks like Zendaya, but it also looks like she's cosplaying as Max. The artist explained that when they printed it, it came out a little darker, and that's why it looks that way. But I was just like, I mean, this really looks like Zendaya cosplaying as Sadie, who plays Max, and that's why I bought this piece. Next up, we have, and I don't know how to pronounce this, but Carcajus, I think is the name. Night Vale. If you guys are really big Night Vale fans for back in the day, it was a whole thing. It was a movement. I highly, this piece was so beautiful that I wanted to get it. I love the detail. I love the idea of getting a nod to Night Vale, something that I haven't seen in a minute. It really reflects and like hits me like as a nerd when you see nerd things that people haven't really been paying attention to the same way recently. You start to feel a little old, but at the same time it's nice to know that you're from a generation of nerds who have a certain type of interest, and that's why I was so excited to see this piece. This next one, Helen underscore art underscore MTL. Look at this Yennefer, guys, look at it. And then look at this Ellie, right? Like, look at the detail. Shout out to Helen, because when I was speaking with Helen, she was so polite about it. Like it was the weaning moments of the convention. There was maybe 10 minutes left. I was running around because I had an interview with Tall and Quirky at 5 at the end of the convention. So I was trying to stay in the area and not go too far. And I'd already decided I wasn't going to spend any more money. But then I saw these pieces by Helen underscore art underscore MTL, and it was so like the detail on it, and also just it's just fun to support local artists again. So and she gave me a really good deal because it was last minute, and she was just like, well, I won't say how much I got them for, but I got them for a good price, and I would highly recommend if you are interested in her art. Again, guys, for everyone that I've mentioned, commissions, hit them up, reach into their socials, tag them, repost their stuff, whatever you want, but I say hit them right now. Next after Helen, we have our buddy that we bought pieces from last year. Well, sorry, not last year, but 2019. I've talked about it before. You guys have seen it before. The Wu-Tang done as the Rugrats. Beautiful piece. I mean, like, it's just one of my favorites. And then this year, a new piece by Christian Bolanos. Folks, Jay Dilla. Look at this Dilla. No, for real though. Like, look at the Dilla. How nice is that? How dang nice is that? We were walking down the street and we got stopped by people when they saw us with the Dilla, because the Dilla doesn't fit in here and we had to walk with it. So we were walking with it, showing it off to people because we're like, wow, this piece is so nice. I want to show it off. I want people to see it as I'm walking around with it. And then people were stopping us. We got stopped twice and asked, yo, is that Dilla? And we're like, yeah. And people started following him on Instagram. So shout outs to Christian. This is, anyways. Next after Christian, I had another piece. This one nostalgic to the core for me as a kid who grew up in Montreal. This one meant a lot to me because Sal Good Sam drew this piece for NDG Côte de Neige, and it is so nice. If you guys know Côte de Neige Plaza, the statue over by Côte de Neige Plaza. We have the little bull up in Côte de Neige, the julep, the Côte de Neige metro station, Blue Line metro station seats, l'Oratoire Saint Joseph. Like, I love this piece. And I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to him because I was, like I said, on my way to do the interview with Tall and Quirky, and it was right at the end. And this was funny enough. The actual last piece I bought the pieces from Helen underscore art underscore MTL, and I was walking back over to Tall and Quirky, and that's when I saw Sal Good Sam talking and explaining the story behind that piece, and I was just like, "Oh, dude, that's so awesome!" And then I had to run, which was so sad because I really, really wanted to stay. So once again, Seymour, I showed you guys these pieces already. Beto Art. I don't even know what to say when it comes to Beto Art. Beto is one of these people that, as an artist, you just love Beto stuff. And I got to interview him earlier in the day, and the interview is going to be a mess, and it's a good thing because the reason it's a mess is he had so many people coming to his booth, we couldn't have a conversation. Like every 2 or 3 minutes, someone would come over and start talking to him about, "Hey, man, can I get it? Like, can I look at the t-shirts? How much is this print?" He had some really nice pieces of the Raptors. He has some really, obviously, his whole hip hop series, Golden Era hip hop series, is fantastic. One of the things that we got to discuss that I'm really excited about is he was explaining how many more pieces he plans to do. Like, he has all these pieces now and he's planning to continue. He has a whole list that he's working on of different things, and this series is going to continue as is. I asked him a little bit about, have you ever thought about including more recent artists? Have you ever gotten commission requests and stuff like that? And he said, yeah, people are, because as hip hop fans, people like seeing the stuff that they grew up with. So if you're a younger hip hop fan and you grew up with like the likes of Kendrick or something like that, and you're hitting him up, you're going to see that piece and you're going to be inspired, and you're going to be like, oh, could I get a Kendrick on one of these covers? And but that's not his era. The eras that he's focusing specifically for this series is golden era hip hop. So it's very much like the 90s, late 90s to the touch of the early 2000s, but that's about it. And I'll let him explain it in more detail once that I post that interview. He also has a comic book that's come out that he's working on that he's very proud of, Eudasia. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, this is once again one of those things that I think people should definitely go see. So the art on I mean, you see his art, so you know that the comic book's going to be dope. Like, that's one of the things that I love about artists like that. When they take their time and they're working on their art, they're working on their craft, they're making things that look beautiful, and then they're just like, you know what, I love doing this, and I kind of want to do it as a comic book so that I can tell other stories. It's like, well, win-win for everybody, in my opinion. And then, so those are all the pieces I got. That's everything. 45 minutes of showing you guys art and stuff that I got and collected. And these other pieces here, this is Liz Parks. These are older pieces that I got. The last three I think I showed these to you guys last time. But that's it. I mean, talking about Comic-Con, like I was saying, actually, you know what? Let me show you my dice real quick, because that's something I'm pretty excited about. I got my first D20s. Not my first D20s, but my first D&D dice. Never had them. Never had D&D dice before. I got a Spider-Man pouch for my dice because we can reel about it. We're real nerdy about it. So I got the Spider-Man pouch. Nice detail. If I'm not mistaken, that is by, I think I have the card right here, Delholm Hairfeld. Boards and card games, Magic the Gathering, dice sets, gemstones, metal, and acrylics. So I have those, and I got my D20 and all the different dice that you need right there. So we're gonna do a roll right now with the D20 on camera. Oh, we hit a nat 20. We hit a nat 20. I don't even know if I can show that to you. We hit a nat 20. First roll live on camera. That feels pretty good. You know what? I'm just going to put that away. When you roll that hot right off the top, don't mess with it. That's it. You show people what you're showing people. You show them the detail, the art that they can appreciate, and then you end there. That's it. I'm not even going to try and show you more. Comic-Con. Montreal edition. I didn't talk about the panel that Dave was on because I want Dave to talk about it on Wednesday. We're going to talk to Dave, Merc with him out. He hosted a panel at Comic-Con. They had an amazing time. It was him, Mike, Chris, Anthony, and Mr. Dumas. I always forget his first name. I think it's Stéphane Dumas. And they talked about making art, like comic book art, and being creative in like the gory horror universe. And as creators, you know, it's interesting because you get such a cool perspective for local artists talking about that stuff, you know, and they had such different opinions that it was a great panel to check out. And I'm really happy that I got to see it. And, you know, shout outs to Dave. You know, Dave, when Dave first started doing the podcast with us, he was a little nervous sometimes. But he really did it. Like, Dave hosted a podcast and he did an excellent job. So I want to say kudos to him, man, because hosting a panel at Comic-Con is nerve-wracking. You have people walking in, people walking out. Maybe you have people talking, you know, people not necessarily paying attention. But I was in that room. Those people were paying attention. The only people that were leaving were the ones that were going to the masquerade competition that was around the same time. They were in full cosplay, and you could tell they didn't want to leave because there's one group that like got up and was like slowly stepping out, and then one person came back from that group. So you could tell they wanted to be there. They wanted to hear what the panelists had to say, and Dave did an excellent job of keeping the conversation going. Thankfully, all the people on the panel were already talkative and seemed super interested in discussing the subject matter. And that's one of the things that I think is the best about when you get really fun people on a panel with you that are interested in the same things as you, that the conversation is so natural. So, you know, shout outs to those guys. And we're going to talk to Dave on Wednesday about it. And we'll have a recap with Dave, like just in general as a fan. And then we're going to talk about going to the Roots. The Roots were in Montreal. They closed out the Jazz Festival on Saturday, the 9th. It was a wild night. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And that is pretty much it. Make sure you guys tune in to Geektastiq Cypher. The show is every Wednesday on twitch.tv/Geektastiq Cypher, or you can watch us over on youtube.com/freeXagents. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of this conversation and allowing me to rant for as long as I did. I had a lot to say. An hour's worth, it would seem. But that's it. That's the whole show. I'm going to sign off now. I don't really have anything else to say. If you guys want to follow me on my socials. Everything is at Brian Holidae. BrianHolidae. That's it. That's all. Thanks, y'all.